Intelligence type with astrology case study. Carol's ascendant in Purva Ashada, Sagittarius, endows her with a core orientation toward optimism, truth-seeking, and moral leadership. This nakshatra enhances existential and interpersonal intelligence, grounding her personality in purpose, principled vision, and emotional resilience. She likely learns through expansive ideation, ethical engagement, and an intuitive belief in personal evolution. With Sagittarius ruling her psyche, Carol is drawn to growth, discovery, and socially impactful expression, all filtered through emotional clarity and spiritual curiosity. In her fourth house, Ketu in Purva Bhadrapada Pisces brings existential and intuitive intelligence into the emotional and inner foundation of her life. Ketu's influence suggests detachment from conventional domestic or emotional security and a tendency to learn through silence, mysticism, and introspective patterns. Carol likely has a strong inner vision and emotional intelligence tuned to symbolic meaning. Her learning comes from solitude, self-sacrifice, and decoding hidden emotional frameworks, ideal for roles involving emotional healing or spiritual counseling. Her moon and Jupiter, conjunct in Ashlesha Cancer in the 8th house, form a powerful stream of emotional, intrapersonal, and philosophical intelligence centered around transformation, emotional legacy, and deeper knowledge. Ashlesha's psychological depth allows Carol to process intense emotional material and convert it into wisdom. This placement supports intuitive knowledge, memory recall, and a natural instinct for guiding others through emotional or subconscious transitions. She likely thrives in settings where emotional complexity is central, such as therapy, research, or spiritual teaching. Carol's Saturn in Purva Falguni, Leo, in the 9th house gives structure to her higher intelligence, particularly in spiritual, philosophical, or educational contexts. Although Saturn is not directly used to define intelligence types, it supports her discipline in processing expansive ideas into functional systems. It lends longevity to her learning style and reinforces a mature, value-based worldview. Her Rahu in Uttara Falguni, Virgo, in the 10th house activates ambition and originality in career matters, giving rise to task-oriented, analytical intelligence shaped by service and perfectionism. Rahu's placement here suggests she may gravitate toward unorthodox leadership or health-focused professions, especially where precision, ethical discernment, and devotion to public well-being are central. Venus in Swati, in the 11th house, brings a graceful mix of musical, visual, spatial, and social intelligence into her networks and long-term goals. Swati grants diplomatic finesse, adaptability, and a refined aesthetic sense, which Carol likely uses to build social bridges, manage collaborations, or create harmonious environments. She may express herself through elegant design, artistic networking, or emotionally intelligent social engagement. Finally, her Sun, Mercury, and Mars in the 12th house, Anuradha and Jyeshta, Scorpio, create a dense cluster of existential, linguistic, and bodily kinesthetic intelligence in a hidden, spiritual, or introspective domain. Mercury in Jyeshta sharpens her strategic and analytical thinking. Mars in Jyeshta supports precise action in private or high-pressure contexts, and the Sun in Anuradha draws her towards soulful leadership through emotional intensity and private dedication. This powerful Scorpio trio suggests Carol's greatest intelligence may reside in her ability to observe, process, and move energy internally, later guiding others through deeply personal or symbolic transformation. Altogether, Carol's intelligence profile integrates emotional perception, symbolic clarity, service orientation, and visionary expression. She learns through introspection, expresses through art and strategy, and thrives where depth, discipline, and dignity are honored. Whether in healing, teaching, creative consultancy, or spiritual guidance, her intelligence invites others into emotional truth, inner growth, and dignified transformation. Carol's Sagittarius ascendant in Purva Ashada anchors a career path rooted in visionary truth, emotional resilience, and principled leadership. This nakshatra aligns her with roles that blend ethical clarity, communication, and healing, and her dominant intelligences, existential, intrapersonal, emotional, linguistic, and musical, make her particularly suited to vocations that require empathy, spiritual insight, and deep symbolic understanding. Her best work emerges when she is guiding others through transformation, expressing depth through refined channels, and leading with quiet integrity. In the fourth house, Ketu in Purva Ashada draws Carol toward intuitive and existential intelligence, rooted in introspection and spiritual alignment. This placement suggests she may feel called to careers that revolve around emotional healing, ancestral work, or esoteric teaching, particularly from within the home, inner retreats, or private practice. Her intelligence here is quiet and internal, ideal for guiding others through subtle transitions, such as through dream interpretation, energy work, or psychological integration. Her Moon-Jupiter conjunction in Ash's 8th house empowers her with emotional depth, therapeutic presence, and philosophical guidance. This combination makes her a natural for trauma healing, intuitive counseling, emotional alchemy, or transformation-based education. Ashlesh's emotional intelligence grants her the ability to hold psychic complexity, while Jupiter helps her contextualize it within systems of meaning. She is likely a deep listener and wise translator of emotional undercurrents, perfectly suited for one-on-one work in intimate, confidential settings. Saturn in Purva Falguni in the 9th house reinforces a long-term commitment to structured meaning-making. Though not classified under psychological intelligence types, Saturn here strengthens Carol's ability to serve as a disciplined mentor, philosophical system builder, or elder-style educator, particularly in fields involving values-based leadership or ethical frameworks. She may be drawn to mentoring younger souls in moral development, spiritual discipline, or emotional maturity. With Rahu and Uttara Falguni in the 10th house, Carol's professional drive is shaped by service-focused, practical, and transformational intelligence. This placement supports careers in alternative health, ethical entrepreneurship, or reform-oriented public roles, especially where order, clarity, and high standards are needed. She thrives in roles that require a balance of precision and emotional refinement, offering innovation without sacrificing depth or integrity. Venus in Swati in the 11th house provides her with musical, visual spatial, and social intelligence within collaborative and artistic domains. She could thrive in aesthetic consulting, art-based healing, team building, or diplomatic leadership, especially in spaces that value both independence and connection. Her grace and adaptability allow her to thrive in artistic or social environments, making her a valuable contributor to collective projects that require balance, harmony, and relational skill. Her Sun, Mercury, and Mars in the 12th house, spanning Anuradha and Jyeshta, orient her gifts toward behind-the-scenes leadership, symbolic articulation, and emotionally intelligent strategy. This setup is ideal for careers in depth coaching, private spiritual facilitation, psychological research, or sacred arts, where private mastery supports public transformation. These placements allow Carol to operate as a quiet force, observing deeply, acting precisely, and communicating with emotional intelligence rooted in insight. Altogether, Carol is most aligned with vocations that integrate emotional healing, symbolic clarity, ethical leadership, and soulful communication. Whether through therapy, creative mentorship, spiritual teaching, or transformational guidance, her presence carries quiet power. Her career is not built on volume or visibility, but on resonance, refinement, and deep emotional literacy, all of which make her a guide for others seeking transformation, truth, and inner coherence. Intelligence type with astrology case study, Daniel. Daniel's ascendant lies in Vishaka, Libra, setting a foundational tone of ambition, relational awareness, and transformation through contrast. Vishaka gives him strong interpersonal and existential intelligence, making him naturally adept at navigating social dynamics while staying focused on larger life goals. As Libra rules balance and cooperation, and Vishaka introduces drive and singular focus, Daniel's psyche reflects a blend of diplomatic grace and inner fire, capable of creating impact in both personal and collective realms. His Mercury in Swati, also in the first house, intensifies this theme with refined linguistic and interpersonal intelligence. Swati lends adaptability, eloquence, and strategic thinking, while Mercury offers cognitive agility and verbal precision. Daniel is likely quick-witted, intellectually flexible, and persuasive in speech, ideal for environments that require negotiation, communication, or public interface. He processes life through language and logic, often reframing ideas for clarity and impact. In the fifth house, Jupiter in Shatabisha reflects expansive intrapersonal and existential intelligence. Shatabisha grants healing insight and reformative vision, while Jupiter guides ethics, higher learning, and long-range thinking. Daniel likely has a deep, introspective mind with a focus on personal growth, social justice, and innovative learning. His creativity is not merely expressive. It is meaningful, transformative, and often geared towards systemic understanding or philosophical problem-solving. Moon in Mrigashira in the ninth house further supports his naturalist and emotional intelligence in relation to belief, purpose, and wisdom. He may intuitively sense truth through patterns, cycles, and subtle emotional shifts. This placement makes him a sensitive seeker, someone who learns best through curiosity, travel, and storytelling. He likely responds strongly to spiritual education, emotional intelligence frameworks, and journeys that expand inner freedom. In the eighth house, Ketu in Rohini activates powerful existential and emotional intelligence around themes of transformation, loss, and transcendence. Rohini adds sensuality and aesthetic refinement, while Ketu detaches and deconstructs. Daniel's mind is capable of understanding life's deeper layers, including grief, intimacy, and mystery, and may express this intelligence through symbolic, therapeutic, or esoteric work. He's likely attuned to hidden structures of power, beauty, and emotional cycles. His 12th house is highly activated, with Mars, Venus, and Sun all in Hasta. This points to a dynamic fusion of bodily kinesthetic, visual spatial, musical, and spiritual intelligence. Hasta provides manual skill, humor, and healing ability. Mars gives drive and somatic learning, Venus enhances harmony and beauty, and Sun brings leadership and vision. This trio suggests Daniel learns and leads through embodied wisdom. He may be drawn to roles involving energy work, dream analysis, artistic healing, or subconscious transformation. Rahu in Jyeshta in the second house sharpens his analytical and expressive intelligence in the realm of speech and values. Jyeshta lends power, strategic acuity, and psychological insight. Daniel is likely drawn to voice-based influence, such as public speaking, consulting, or teaching, where he uses intensity and precision to challenge norms and elevate consciousness. Altogether, Daniel's intelligence operates across multiple planes: verbal, emotional, aesthetic, philosophical, and somatic. His psyche weaves subtle insight with bold articulation, and his strengths emerge through transformation, guidance, and refined expression. Whether through speech, touch, or presence, Daniel's intelligence is best expressed in roles where inner depth meets outer clarity and healing meets insight. Career based on intelligence for Daniel. Daniel's Libra ascendant in Vishaka with Mercury in Swati gives him a natural ability to navigate both people and systems with precision, insight, and persuasive clarity. His strongest intelligences, interpersonal, linguistic, existential, intrapersonal, naturalist, and bodily kinesthetic, form a layered foundation for a career rooted in communication, transformation, emotional insight, and aesthetic fluency. He is most fulfilled in roles that allow him to speak truth, design clarity, and guide others through emotional and symbolic complexity. His first house, Mercury in Swati, positions him well for careers involving language, diplomacy, public speaking, or intellectual navigation of complex relational dynamics. Swati's airy independence and Mercury's analytical mind make Daniel a master of persuasive communication. He could excel in negotiation, cultural intelligence, editorial strategy, or therapeutic dialogue, especially in settings where tact, timing, and refined speech are essential. In the fifth house, Jupiter in Shatabisha brings a philosophical and systemic lens to creative and educational work. This placement supports careers in therapeutic innovation, philosophical teaching, spiritual education, or systems-based coaching. Daniel may be drawn to roles where social repair, healing through learning, or the application of complex ideas toward transformation are core. His approach to teaching and mentoring carries moral depth and reformist vision. Moon in Mrigashira in the ninth house sharpens his naturalist and emotional intelligence through spiritual and intellectual exploration. He may be drawn to travel-based education, emotional storytelling, intuitive learning systems, or cultural psychology. This placement favors roles that allow him to explore belief systems, tell emotional truths, or guide others through inner journeys with gentle curiosity and insight. His Ketu in Rohini in the 8th house deepens his alignment with existential intelligence. He is well suited to careers involving psychological healing, transformation work, trauma resolution, or symbolic therapy. Rohini's aesthetic and sensual refinement combined with Ketu's detachment gives Daniel a rare ability to address emotional intensity with grace. He could work behind the scenes, in dream work, emotional decoding, or spiritual therapy, where he guides others inward while protecting their vulnerability. In the 12th house, the conjunction of Mars, Venus, and Sun in Hasta suggests that his career is also tied to bodily kinesthetic, visual spatial, and musical intelligence, expressed in private or sacred domains. He may thrive in somatic therapy, intuitive healing, sacred design, ritual performance, or subconscious repatterning work. Hasta grants him skilled hands and an affinity for restoring order through movement, rhythm, and form, making him a natural in healing arts, hand-based modalities, or embodied leadership. Rahu and Yeshta in the 2nd house adds intensity and strategy to his voice and value system. He may find success in transformational speaking, value-centered consulting, vocal arts, or reputation management, particularly where power, healing, or status transformation is involved. He is capable of shifting people's perspectives through well-placed, piercing insight and emotionally charged articulation. Altogether, Daniel's career thrives at the intersection of clarity and depth, elegance, and insight. Whether as a communicator, healer, strategist, or creative guide, his intelligence is best expressed where emotional wisdom meets symbolic structure, and where he can lead others through the complexity of their own transformation. His path is one of healing, not just through information, but through intention, embodiment, and presence. Intelligence type with astrology case study, Derek. Derek's ascendant in Dhanishta Aquarius sets the foundation for his entire psychological orientation. Dhanishta gives him a rhythmic, driven, and socially aware psyche, while Aquarius offers innovation, independence, and reformist energy. His personality is likely a mix of bodily kinesthetic, existential, and interpersonal intelligence, aimed at structured leadership and social alignment. He doesn't just move to his own rhythm, he creates new ones for others to follow, bringing a visionary clarity to social environments or systems. In the same 1st house, Rahu in Shatabisha overlays his core identity with deep existential and analytical intelligence. Shatabisha is the domain of healers, visionaries, and pattern breakers, and Rahu intensifies the urge to analyze, question, and reform hidden systems. Derek is likely gifted with abstract reasoning, the ability to decode unseen structures, and emotional detachment that allows him to explore intellectual frontiers. This placement strongly favors roles in research, technology, or reform-based innovation, especially where transformation is needed. In the 4th house, Mercury in Kritika and Sun in Mrigashira give Derek a potent mix of linguistic, naturalist, and interpersonal intelligence centered around the inner world, emotions, and private thought. Kritika brings sharp analysis, and Mrigashira offers curiosity and subtlety, allowing him to process emotional and social information with precision. These placements make Derek an emotionally literate communicator, suited to roles in therapeutic education, reflective writing, or emotionally attuned system design. His 5th house, Mars in Ardra, reveals intense bodily kinesthetic and logical mathematical intelligence through the lens of creativity and education. Ardra, ruled by Rahu, gives a transformative edge, learning through challenge and teaching through raw experience. Mars here supports leadership in problem-solving spaces. Derek may thrive in cognitive strategy, engineering, activism, or movement-based expression, where intensity fuels innovation. In the 6th house, Venus in Punarvasu activates musical, naturalist, and interpersonal intelligence in daily service and wellness routines. Punarvasu is nurturing and idealistic, making Derek naturally attuned to restorative practices. Venus here shows affinity for emotional repair, aesthetics in service, and systems of care. He may excel in wellness design, aesthetic therapy, or user-centered lifestyle development that combines beauty with function. Derek's seventh house contains a dual force, Moon in Purva Falguni and Ketu in Magha, offering emotional, existential, and social intelligence in relationships and partnerships. The moon here seeks connection, charm, and joy, while Ketu in Magha draws him toward legacy and detachment. This dynamic tension makes him both a romantic idealist and a quiet observer of relationship patterns. He may be drawn to relational work, diplomacy, or archetypal therapy, spaces where personal love intersects with collective symbolism. In the ninth house, Jupiter in Chitra, Libra, enhances intrapersonal and visual spatial intelligence, blending faith, philosophy, and pattern recognition. Chitra's architectural vision gives Derek the ability to design meaning through form, whether visual, ideological, or strategic. Jupiter here supports careers in education, visionary leadership, or spiritual design, where he can build elegant structures of knowledge for others to learn and evolve from. Altogether, Derek's intelligence profile is deep, layered, and reform-oriented. His mind works through symbolism, rhythm, aesthetics, and abstraction, seeking not just solutions, but elegant frameworks that uplift, transform, and reveal. Whether working through people, systems, or internal landscapes, Derek's intelligence is attuned to pattern movement, emotional truth, and visionary structure, uniquely designed to guide others through transformation by leading with insight and form. Career based on intelligence for Derek. Derek's Aquarius ascendant in Dhanishta, paired with Rahu and Shatabisha, anchors a career path defined by rhythm, innovation, and structural reform. His core intelligences, existential, bodily, kinesthetic, linguistic, interpersonal, and visual spatial, give him the ability to work across systems that require both visionary design and emotionally attuned execution. He is best suited to careers that let him analyze deeply, build intelligently, express precisely, and lead others through transition or transformation. In the first house, Rahu and Shatabisha gives Derek powerful existential and pattern-based intelligence, positioning him for innovation in fields that deal with invisible systems, collective healing, or abstract structures. This supports careers in technology, system psychology, behavioral science, or social reform, especially where he can use analysis and intuitive insight to guide change. He excels where others might feel overwhelmed by complexity, seeing the deeper logic that holds chaos together. His fourth house sun in Mrigashira and Mercury in Kritika create a blend of linguistic, naturalist, and emotional intelligence, making Derek especially suited for roles that require emotional communication, narrative refinement, or design thinking rooted in inner awareness. He may thrive in reflective professions such as emotional education, narrative therapy, therapeutic writing, or lifestyle systems creation, particularly where psychology and communication intersect. Mars in Ardra in the fifth house empowers Derek with bodily kinesthetic and logical mathematical intelligence applied to learning, creativity, and dynamic leadership. He is wired for innovation through intensity and would thrive in careers involving activism, digital strategy, cognitive science, or somatic work that requires precision under pressure. Ardra's influence makes him a transformer, one who reshapes through trial and clarity, especially in educational or reform-based spaces. In the sixth house, Venus in Punarvas enhances his naturalist and musical intelligence, particularly in wellness, daily design, or sensory harmony. He may gravitate toward careers that integrate emotional restoration, aesthetic care, or rhythmic intelligence into service-based work. This placement supports professions like wellness coaching, therapeutic aesthetics, ethical product design, or anything requiring a blend of emotional nurturing and beauty and function. The seventh house placements, Moon in Purva Falguni and Ketu in Magha, give him nuanced interpersonal and existential intelligence in relational and collaborative environments. Derek may be drawn to relational consultancy, archetypal psychology, or conscious partnerships in business. He understands the push and pull between emotional warmth and spiritual detachment, giving him the ability to engage relationships with grace while maintaining strategic distance. In the ninth house, Jupiter in Chitra, Libra, supports intrapersonal and visual spatial intelligence, allowing Derek to design belief systems, educational structures, or philosophical frameworks that are both elegant and functional. He may thrive in visionary teaching, architecture of ideas, or leadership roles within spiritual or design-oriented disciplines. This placement suits roles like spiritual educator, ethical strategist, design consultant, or transpersonal guide, especially where beauty and belief must align. Altogether, Derek is built for a career path that integrates form and feeling, logic and rhythm, intellect and intuition. His intelligence shines where structure must be reimagined, emotional insight must be organized, and meaning must be designed. He leads best through symbolic structure and resonant form, building not just systems, but new ways of seeing and living through them.